Hey Fae folk, welcome back to another Dolls I Don't Want video. Yes, we are squeezing in one more of these before the year ends and before we enter a new year where I'll have fresh dolls that I don't want. So if you haven't seen this style of video from me before, it's just where I take a look at dolls that have either come out recently or that we have stock photos for that are going to be coming out relatively soon, and I just discuss all the ones that I don't plan on buying for one reason or another. Sometimes it is because I think a doll is just but ugly. Sometimes it's just like, oh, the style's not really for me, even though it's a nice doll. Sometimes it's purely just a price issue. But this is just sort of where I can get all of my opinions out on the dolls that I don't plan on purchasing. In theory, there is a companion series to this, which is the dolls I do want, which is exactly what it sounds like. Same premise, but it's all the dolls that I'm excited about. I just still don't have enough to make a dolls I do want video for. I feel like it's been like a hot minute since I've been able to. I don't know. Y'all know I'm kind of picky. I have more dolls in general that I don't like versus dolls that I do like, which, bright side, it's a little bit better for my wallet. So once again, we are just doing a dolls I don't want, and we're not doing a dolls I do want. At some point, I promise we're going to do one again. Like whenever it becomes relevant, we're going to do one again. But for today, we're focusing a little bit on the critique, a little bit on the negative, a little bit on the anti-haul aspect, and we're just going to go through the dolls that I don't plan on buying. Of course, if you love all these dolls, that's totally chill. They're just little plastic people. It's not a big deal if we have different opinions. Just please be kind about it if you want to express those different opinions in the comment section and down below. With that being said, if you do find yourself enjoying the video, whether you agree with me or not, if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hype the video, that's very, very helpful to me. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into my list. So we are going to start off with Rainbow and Shadow High, just because these dolls have featured in other videos that I've made recently, so I feel like I've already sort of talked about them. So I just wanted to get them out of the way at the start of this video before we get into slightly more interesting and new takes. And I also am going to be relatively brief on these since I have covered them in other videos. So I'll have the videos linked somewhere up above if you want to see more in-depth discussions about these. But starting off, we're going to be looking at the Shadow High Girls Night dolls. So it's like not quite a slumber party line, not quite like a sleep line, but like a girls' night in. It's towing the line there. First off, we have Chanel, and genuinely my only critique for her is simply that this is not a style that I personally find myself drawn to. From an objective standpoint, I think that her having her hair down for the first time is quite fun. I think her makeup is absolutely stunning. Chanel, like, always gets incredible makeup on her base dolls. And then yeah, the outfit is just it's not a bad outfit. Like I can look at it and be like, "Oh, that is a well-designed outfit." It's just not my style. So this is definitely a case where there's nothing wrong with the doll. She's not for me. Cannot say the same thing for Luna. I'm sorry. I think she is by far the worst of this line. She's the only one who's like in out and out pajamas. And I think that if this were a pajama line, this would be a perfectly fine inclusion. Maybe she would even be a very cute inclusion. But I think when you have all of the other three characters in more of like a loungewear versus a true pajama, where it's still very much giving fashion and individual style, and then you stick Luna in just like really, really basic pajamas, she just looks worse by comparison. So, yeah, not a fan of this one. Natasha, I'm sort of 50-50 on her outfit. I like the top a little bit more than the pants, but like some days I look at the pants and I think they're really cute. Some days I look at the pants and I'm like, I don't know about that. I will say I think her hair looks a little bit more yellow in this picture. All of these I also discussed in my Rainbow High ranking video. That's where I like did more in-depth discussions of these. But yeah, her hair looks like a little bit yellowish to me, and on a doll that wasn't pure white, you wouldn't really notice it. But you definitely notice it on a doll that's pure white, and it's just a little bit jarring, so not going to pick her up. And rounding out the line, we have Heather. So yeah, this is an entire line that I don't plan on buying. She is my favorite of the group. I do think that her outfit is really cute and like could pass as daywear versus sort of lounge or sleepwear. I just these dolls are in sort of a weird niche where I've seen like a lot of people debating about whether they should be considered budget dolls or not because they have decent clothing. I think they come with a couple of accessories. However, they don't have arm articulation, and like even now in the era of the Rainbow High reboot, generally speaking, they all have elbow articulation, but these don't. So inherently the body feels more like a budget body, and also doing like a sleep line could be a theme that could be a little bit more budgety. It's obviously not always the case, but like it can be. But I also think these dolls are like $20. that's not a budget price for a doll to me. So I don't know. These just fall into a sort of weird range, and where that applies to me is simply that I'm not willing to spend $20 on a doll that doesn't have articulation when like I already have a doll of this character that has full articulation and is wearing day clothes, which I personally am more partial to. So she's very pretty, but she's just not ultimately worth it for me personally. Then we have the Rainbow High Bedazzled line. I am going to be very brief here because I have not only talked about them in that same Rainbow and Shadow High ranking video, but I also did a whole dedicated video for these. So left to right, we'll see if I remember the names. I believe the pink one is Adeline. Love the base doll. I think her outfit and especially the shoes are sort of a mess, so perhaps on a sale, but certainly nowhere near full price. Vivian, the red one, I think is definitely the worst. Like, nothing matches and everything is very strange and weird for me. I don't know. I don't like her. Celine, the turquoise, I like the bones for her, but I just don't think that she's decked out enough. So another one that I could see myself getting on a sale, but not full price. Genevieve is the deep blue one, and she is my favorite of the group. But even so, like the more I look at her, like I've seen the Amazon listing and everything. I don't even know if she's in stock right now. I think she's been popping in and out of stock. But the more that I look at her, I'm just like, she is pretty, but I don't know if that I want to spend full price on her. So she's another one that would be like a sale only. And then Noemi, the purple one, I feel like is most people's favorite. Again, nice base doll, but I'm not a fan of the dress. And I don't really think, I don't know, I don't think I would end up getting her on a sale. I don't realistically know how many of these are going to end up in my collection, but for right now, they're going to be a skip. That brings us on to Bratz, and these I also have dedicated videos for. So again, we're going to be like slightly more brief, but I will make sure you know my opinion. Do not fret. So first off is the Bratz Charms line. I did like sort of a joint video talking about them and the Pop Stars line, which we're going to get to in a second. But to look at the Charms line first, I think Chloe has my favorite outfit, except for the fact that I don't really feel as though her dress is fitting super duper well. And I'm not a huge fan of just like the plain white t-shirt under the dress. It's just not really working for me. Even though we're looking at Charms first, Jade is wearing almost the exact same outfit as Sasha from the Pop Stars line, and I just think Sasha wore it better, but even then, it's not my style personally, so not working for me. Yasmin, I'm obsessed with her pants and her shoes. The rest is just sort of there. And then Sasha, I think, has the prettiest base doll. Like, her face just looks, I don't know, more elaborate and more interesting to me than the others, but I really just don't like the outfit. Overall, I think that these are just kind of simplistic. Like they all feel like they're sort of missing something for me, so none of them really interest me. Moving on to Pop Stars, we will not be discussing the entire line this time because I actually do want Chloe and Yasmin. Unfortunately, that does mean that we're going to be talking about this Sasha, which just hurts. She's a lot like Chanel for me, like the Chanel that we discussed earlier. There's nothing inherently wrong with her outfit. It's just not my style. I actually do really like the little heart cutout on her skirt, but overall, it's not an outfit that I feel personally drawn to, which sucks because I think her base doll is so gorgeous. Like the light purple and like the deep brown for her hair blend is so good. She's so pretty, but I just don't vibe with the outfit, so I can't justify buying her. Jade, I feel a lot better about skipping on. I personally just think she's sort of a mess. I don't know what she's doing stylistically. I don't know why we're mixing like slight Western references with these sweetie cute hair bows and then like almost casual streetwear. I've seen a lot of people compare her skirt to looking a little bit like a diaper, which I think is funny. I don't really see it, but I do think it's funny. In general, though, she just feels absolutely all over the place and not cohesive like the other ones. Like Sasha, I can at least say, hey, yeah, she's not for me, but she looks cohesive. Jade, no, not working for me. So this one's a strong skip. And then lastly for Bratz is two of the new Bratzies, which I did also make a whole dedicated video about my adventure with those. I do have the main lineup, but thankfully I do not care about the secrets at all. The secrets are the twins, Phoebe and Roxy, and because this entire first line of Bratzies is them dressed up as their little icons, that means that they are dressed up as a angel duck and a devil duck, and I just think they look really dumb. I'm so sorry if you like these. But yeah, I didn't like the little pets that they came with, even with their like regular Bratz Babies iteration. And I certainly don't like them dressed up as the pets, which is good for me because again, these are the two secrets. So like it's so hard to find them, right? I don't know if at this point, as the time of filming, if they are being shipped out to stores, but I believe at first they were exclusives to Bratz.com, and they might again still be. I'm not sure on that. So it makes it even worse because it's just there's so much going in this. These are going to be so hard for people to find, and I feel genuinely bad for people who really want these. Um, but yeah, I guess I'm kind of lucky in that I don't. That brings us to Monster High, and I promise this is the last doll that I've made a video about. This is Edward Scissorhands, the Skeletor doll. I'm not going to repeat myself because, again, I made a whole video, but also I was very impassioned in that video. I really like Edward Scissorhands as a character. I loved the film when I was younger. Not that I don't like it now. It's been a little bit since I've seen it. Like, I was so looking forward to this doll, and almost nothing on this doll is turned out how I wanted it to be. Like, this is just an absolute disaster for me, so I didn't get her. Bringing us into the realm of dolls I haven't talked about before, we have another line of buried secrets dolls to discuss. I have yet to really like a buried secrets doll. The faces on the first wave were sort of tempting. I think those were quite pretty. But again, like I talked earlier about articulation, I just tend to prefer articulation, and so I haven't been into these. And this new line of sports themed ones is absolutely no exception. If you know me, you know that I don't really mess around with sports themed dolls. I'm not an athletic person. I'm not a sporty person. No, like, trouble if you are. I just don't vibe that way. And so they're not really fun to me. Claudine here looks like she is wearing like some sort of tennis outfit. I really like the makeup for her, but even the hair, like, I don't know. I like that they're giving her like the tighter curls, like the little puffs, but I'm just not sold on the style. And definitely not on the outfit. Then we have Frankie, and I'm just now realizing that I think they actually all are playing tennis. So that's even weirder that it's not even like they got different sports. Whatever. This one hurts because I think this is unironically one of the coolest like base doll Frankies that we've gotten outside of the lack of articulation. Their face is so pretty. The hair blend is fairly like basic, but I do think it's executed well. I love it looks like it might be a transparent leg. It's hard to tell from the picture if it's transparent or if it's white, but I like the leg that they've got going on. And this pop of the neon yellow, ooh, that is really, really nice for Frankie. But I don't care about the outfit, and they're on an articulated body, and I just this face is wasted on this doll. I'm so sad. Then last one to look at is Toralei. I do know that there's a Ghoulia, and believe me, I'm actually not excluding her intentionally. I'm not a Ghoulia fan in general, but I'm not that mean. Like, I wouldn't just cut her out of the video on purpose. I could not find a stock photo for that doll. So that's the only reason that she's not being included, because I only mess around with stock photos because I'm super paranoid about copyright. So, like, no specific hate to Ghoulia in this instance. I just couldn't find a stock photo. But I mean, the things that I'm saying about all of these, you could say about Ghoulia too. The Toralei, I don't know. I think I might find her shirt the least offensive, but there's nothing exciting about her going on either. Like, I just don't care. I keep waiting for Buried Secrets to do something that I might be like vaguely invested in, and I just keep not getting it. Okay, almost done with the video here. We are on to Barbie, our last brand for the day, and I've got 3 dolls I want to talk about with y'all. Let's start off with the one that I can be the most positive about, and then we'll just end on like the nastiest stuff that I have to say. So this first one is a new Styled by Barbie, and I will say I think that she's not terrible. This particular look, because this is a like day to night inspired Barbie, this is her day look, and I think this is so far the superior look. Like, it's not even funny. I think, doing something with her hair would have been nice, but her face, like the face mold they chose, is pretty. She's got quite a basic outfit on, but some parts of it are interesting to me. Specifically, the off the shoulder of the blazer, I think, is kind of fun. And also the way that her like skirt is so long and then her boots are also so long that you don't see any skin there. I don't know. It's a very interesting sort of silhouette. And I do think it can look bad quickly. Like, I think that the like skirt goes over the boots can look sort of rough, but when you do it right, it can be so pretty. And I definitely think that this is an example of it being done right. However, the like night side of this day to night is literally the most basic thing you could possibly imagine. Like, I don't mean to be mean, but there's absolutely no ingenuity in a little sparkly tube dress. Like, it's there. So I don't know. I don't think she's a bad doll, but I just look at her and I'm like, oh, that day outfit is pretty cool. I'm not spending my money on this. And yes, that is In fact, the nicest that I can be. Because next up, we have the second Fashion Frontier Barbie. Now, as a quick reminder, this is the first Fashion Frontier Barbie, and she's one that I didn't get specifically because of the price. Like, I just couldn't justify spending that much at the time that she came out. There were other things that I wanted to buy more that I was spending my money on. So she didn't enter the collection, not because she was an ugly doll, but simply because I didn't have the resources at the time to acquire her. I do think this is a crazy, crazy cool doll. The mixing of like this sort of like disco space aesthetic with the cowboy is super fun, super interesting. And I just think she was extremely well executed. The insane fringe, the clear plastic skirt, the disco ball bodysuit, and the shiny boots. Like, this is a gorgeous doll. Again, literally the only reason I didn't get her was for monetary reasons. And now I'm sad because like I can't buy her at retail anymore. And low key, I want her. She is so, so pretty. Now we take a look at the second one. And I think at first glance, she doesn't look too bad. I am obsessed with these super, super long braids. I think those are cool. We got some chaps, which I think is interesting. Right off the bat, though, I do think there's just some color missing. Just like a hint of color would have been nice. But overall, she doesn't look terrible in this photo, okay? Now I want you to look at a different comparison photo. Once again, here's the first Fashion Frontier Barbie. And then here she is on a white stock photo background. Because definitely the background that you put behind a doll, like the context in which you're viewing it, can sort of change how much it appeals to you. And she's cool because I do think that obviously you lose some of the atmosphere by not having the funky space western background. But she still holds up and you can still see how just fun and weird and different this Barbie is, how exciting she is. But now, if we go back to the atmospheric version of the Fashion Frontier 2 Barbie, this is what she looks like with all of the editing and effects and everything. And then this is what she looks like without it. And she just doesn't hold up. I'm so sorry. I still think she is far from the ugliest doll that Barbie has produced, even recently. Like, I'm not saying she's an ugly doll, but when you take her out of the context of the fancy background and everything, to me, unlike Fashion Frontier 1, who still looks fun and interesting and innovative, she doesn't. I'm really, really sorry. I just don't think she does. I feel like there's not enough of that sort of futuristic, spacey element. Like, yes, you have maybe a slightly more interesting silhouette, and you've got like the shine and like these vague little sparkle motifs on the chaps, but there's just something missing. I don't know. There's something that doesn't feel as extravagant and over the top as the first one. And God, I feel so mean, but frankly, like my eye sort of passes over her. Like, she's not ugly. She's even sort of interesting, but when you compare the two and when you take her out of the context of these super cool stock photos, she doesn't work for me. And then lastly, I do want to kick off, or not kick off, I want to round off the video with just like a teensy rant. This is technically a whole line of Barbies that is coming out for some anniversary of the Nutcracker. I can't remember if it's like 20th or 25th, or I can't remember what the anniversary number is, but there's some anniversary of the Nutcracker, and we're getting a whole line of dolls, and this is one of them. And I don't need to show you all the others because they're comparable. They're different dolls, different outfits. But really, what we want to focus on is the quality here, which is abysmal, like genuinely just so terrible. This doesn't even read specifically like Nutcracker to me. Maybe if you zoom in on the prints. Okay, yeah, if you zoom in, there's like Nutcrackers on the skirt. This is just every basic ass budget ballet Barbie that we have gotten since like they stopped making good ballet Barbies, since they stopped basically making like ballet movie Barbies. And even then, like depending on your qualifications for good, like you could question some of that. Like, there's nothing interesting about this doll. There's nothing unique about this doll, and there sure as shit isn't anything quality about this doll, except maybe for the fact that she has more than one layer of fabric on her skirt, and the fact that I have to even potentially count that as being quality is, ugh, I hate it. I hate it here. Friendly reminder, this is the Playline Barbie doll that came out for the release of Barbie and the Nutcracker. Are we joking? I understand it's been X years. Okay, I get it. I don't care. This is crazy. Like, she came with a fancy dancing stand so that she could, like, do her little spin. She had this long, gorgeous hair, the crown, fully fabric dress, articulated arms. Like, I just the The depths to which we've fallen. Okay, I will say, hold on. It actually looks like the new Barbie might have articulated arms too. So maybe I'm being a little bit harsh in that regard. But still, like the depths that we have fallen is so insane. And like, I know we say this all the time. I'm genuinely shocked that Mattel refuses outright to just reproduce old Barbie movie dolls as collector editions. Like the sheer amount of money, mind you, again, this was a Playline doll whenever this came out. So like she would have retailed for what, $20 back in the day, 25, really pushing it in there. The amount of people who would happily pay 100 to even $150 for a reproduction of this doll is astronomical. Like Mattel could make so much fucking money if they just made reproductions of the actually good dolls that they used to give us, even at super jacked up prices. Or even if you want to do something completely new and it's like referential to the original to celebrate the anniversary, match the quality. I don't know. Don't give us this nonsense. Like, no one who cares about the fact that this is an anniversary, no one who remembers that this is an anniversary, like, will want this level of shit doll. Like, it's just genuinely, who is this for? Like, I don't know. Because I feel like if you're looking at this purely in terms of, okay, it's a Playline doll, it's meant to be like bashed around by very young kids. Okay, I am firmly in the camp that like kids deserve nice things too. Again, that old one was a Playline doll, and I think kids deserve dolls like that to play with. But even if you want to say that, okay, so why does it have to have anything to do with the anniversary of the Nutcracker? Because you're just like slapping it on there to make it sound more exciting without actually putting in any of the effort. I'm pissed. Can you tell? I'm so heated. I just think it's so dumb. Like, I know I have no knowledge about economics and business and anything like that. I just cannot fathom why Mattel is so allergic to making decisions that would bring them money. Like, there are so many good old Barbie movie dolls, and people would pay so much for these dolls. One of my local toy stores right now has a Barbie Swan Lake Odette doll and a Barbie Rapunzel doll, both brand new in box. Both of those dolls have a price tag on them for like, at the toy store of $200. Mattel could be making that money just reproducing these. Hopefully not $200, but again, like the 1 to 150 range, people would buy it because it's cheaper than buying the shit on the secondhand market. They have so much untapped potential. Like they could make so much money, and they just like won't for some ungodly reason. And I'm clearly very upset about it. So what a way to end the video. I sat down like, ooh, a little easy dolls I don't want video, and then I ranted. So I guess that's pretty on brand for me. Yeah. So now it's your turn. In the comments down below, sound out, do you like any of the dolls on my list? And do you think I'm like dumb for not liking them? Do you agree with my list? What do you think about the Barbie Nutcracker situation specifically? Like, that's definitely what I'm most impassioned about, clearly, and most nosy about. So I would love to hear all of your thoughts. But yeah, we're going to take a step back. We're going to conclude for now. So I hope you guys were able to enjoy today's video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, your night, whatever it might be. Hope you have a happy holiday season as it starts to come to a close. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.